Do you want to address the question of where you went? I mean, you just kind of stopped and disappeared for a while, and you did put out an album every few years, I know,
Yeah.
Smile and Mother Spiritual when you came back, and a live album and so on. But pretty much, you weren't as visible and you weren't as productive as I guess you had been earlier in terms of quantity. I mean, I think you made a big deal for your publishing. As I recall reading the trades, I mean, the fact that these songs were so popular got you a lot of money for your publishing for your songs, your writing. Did that have something to do with you just deciding to cool out as an artist for a while? What really happened?
No, that wouldn't be it. I think that there's a lot of people probably that we both know who, life brings changes. Like sometimes a person will be in one business and then go into another.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the different sides of life. And then also, if once you have a child, once you're, become a mother,
mm-hmm.
that has a profound influence on your life because, you could be busy there 24 hours a day. It's very different than when you're, freewheeling.
Right.
So I would say that was one of the strongest influences. And I think also, I just wasn't that drawn to the music business at the time, okay, and everything that meant and all the involvements. I think that I wanted to be with nature and have this different side of my life. But I did continue writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just did it really low-key, and I didn't have, management. I didn't have, these organizations that all these people that you see out there, they have.
Yeah.
So I was very low-key. I was just kind of like a mom, in the woods with this baby and just a softer kind of lifestyle, just kind of different that I needed to go through. But
did fans ever notice you or find you and just say, just remind you of your career, remind you of what you had meant to them along the way? I mean,
well, I'll tell you, when I went out and started singing again, it kind of surprised me, because getting ready to sing, I had to, I just was getting real serious about the music again and focusing on what it would take, and getting myself just completely at one with the music and going out with a band, singing live, the whole thing. So that's what I was into, my side of things. And I was kind of, it took me a little by surprise, just a little bit, that
mm-hmm.
People,
remember.
People were just kind of were constantly saying certain things to me, and telling me not to go away.
Right.
So, enough of them said it, so I've decided not to, Ed.
No, that's great. We're glad to have you back. Let me just ask you a little bit about a couple of albums in particular. The Eli and the 13th Confession album, which I guess by virtue of the songs and the time and the amount of airplay it got and the fact that so many people bought it and have it and have listened to it is kind of considered perhaps your quintessential statement. I don't know if you see it that way. I mean, did it mean something particular to you at the time more than the others, or it just was our timing in listening to it? It seems a very personal album. I don't know.
I don't know if it meant more to me or
mm-hmm.
the most to me, that particular one. The one that means the most to me is the one that I just worked on and that I...
okay.
That's the one that does mean the most to me, and I'll tell you why.
This is the live album, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. because I feel that it draws from, it tells you where I'm coming from right now as a writer, what's on my mind, and it draws from way back to when I was a teenager, and so it's got a lifeline, and I feel that it represents my lifeline or something as an artist. And I also feel that it's very, it's just, there's no frills. That's me, not in the studio,
right.
you know, right. But just live, just as it was happening. And so, you know, I would say that would be my favorite one.
Another album I was going to ask you about was the Gonna Take a Miracle, which you did in Philadelphia, as I recall.
Yeah.
With Gamble and Huff producing and LaBelle backing you up, which was really kind of interesting at the time. I guess because you were kind of the high priestess of hip, and LaBelle really weren't considered hip in the sense of FM, you know what I mean, radio.
Yeah.
So you were bringing together your world along with what I see as the world of black pop music that you, in fact, revered growing up.
Yeah, right. You know the song, I Sold My Heart to the Junk Man, and all this stuff.
Although you didn't do that on
by
there.
By Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells. I
right.
just remembered it when I don't know, when I was 13 or something. You know, those are some of the songs that we used to love to listen to.
Right.
And so then when I was when I wanted to sing some of my favorite R&B songs, I met the group, you know, and I just, you know, I really wanted to sing with them, work with them.
Was it a good experience? Was it fun?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, great. Okay. All right, we'll move into the present. Of course, you have the new album, Laura Nyro Live at the Bottom Line, which came out on Cypress. And you working on some newer things yet for another album, or what's the deal?
Yeah. I'm writing. I've been writing. So, you know, it's just kind of nice that's alive, the writing aspect.
Was it a little bit scary to come back?
Yeah, it was a little bit scary because you're living out your essence rather than and you're willing to go on an adventure that's meaningful to you rather than, you know, go for what is very familiar and what is secure. You know, let's say just in your everyday home life. Or something. And it's great. I recommend it. I love it, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun being on the road.
Well, we'll see you again on the road. It's a week from Tuesday the 19th. There'll be 2 shows at the Chestnut Cabaret, and I can personally recommend it because I loved you. Jimmy Vivino with you again and the band and all?
Yes.
Great. It's a great band, and you get a real survey of Laura's career. In a way, you've been able to kind of step away from your career and then come back to it and look at it a little more objectively than perhaps many artists get to do.
Yeah, that's true, and I have a lot of good energy now.
That's great.
You know?
And especially since you stopped smoking, right? Okay. Laura Nyro, thank you so much for spending some time with us, and I hope it wasn't too painful.
Thanks, Ed.
And we'll see you on Tuesday the 19th at the Chestnut Cabaret. Thanks again.
Okay.